Good morning, Green Room. The morning message is behind me. I'm back at school today. My son is feeling better. I am going to sit in the chair so we can read the morning message. Are you ready? It says, Hi. Hi, Green Room. Hello. I didn't write hello today. Hello is a longer word. This word only has 2 letters, H-I. Hi. Hi, Green Room. How many people? I don't have my mask on, so you can tell I'm the only one in the green room right now. But how many people are at your house right now? Can you take a minute and count? Do you know how many people are at your house? Can you hold up that many fingers? I have one person here. How many do you have? Did you count? Okay. Do you remember yesterday we made a to-do list? I decided to use the same words today. To do. What should we do today? Number 1, read a book. I have another book to share with you today. This one is called Little Elephant's Trunk. It is by Hazel Lincoln, and I love this book. Yesterday we read a book that was nonfiction. It was true facts about a fish. This one is a made-up story. It's fiction, but we learn a lot of real things about elephants in this book. Little Elephant's Trunk. I'm going to scooch a little bit closer. You can see the pictures. All over the land, there was great excitement. It was springtime, and springtime meant babies. Babies everywhere. The chimpanzee's baby was clinging tightly to his mother. The giraffe's baby muzzled its mother's face. Do you know what it means to muzzle somebody's face? I think of it as when my cat gets real close to me and wants to rub noses with me. That looks like what they're doing, muzzling. The tortoise's baby struggled out of its shell. The hippo's baby took straight to the water. The zebra's baby hid in the long grass. And the springbok's baby ran and ran. Some of you have babies at your house. Do they run right away? People babies don't run right away, but the springbok could run right away. That's pretty cool. The elephants had just had a new baby too. The whole family rumbled with pleasure as they gazed lovingly on little elephant. Little elephant took his first wobbly steps and fell. Something long and gray was tripping him up. What could be tripping the elephant up? What's long and gray right in front of him? Do you think it's talking about the trunk? He struggled to his feet, and it happened again. But his mother was calling. The herd was going to the river. Oh, the herd is the group of elephants. Yesterday we learned that a group of fish is called a school. A group of elephants is called a herd. Little elephant hurried alongside his mother, stumbling as he tried to keep up. He slipped down the riverbank and fell with a loud splash into the water. Seems like he's a little clumsy. He falls down a lot. He looked down. A face looked back at him, and something odd dangled from the middle of his face. That strange thing was a trunk. Then he realized he was looking at himself, his own reflection. The reflection is what you see when you look in the mirror. Remember you were building with mirrors the other day with Miss Emily? You might have seen reflection then. What was the strange dangling thing for? Little elephant didn't know, but he did know he was thirsty. The zebra was drinking water, but little elephant couldn't do that. His trunk got in the way. He looked at the big elephants. They dipped their trunks into the water, put them into their mouths, and drank. Little Elephant dipped his trunk into the water, put it in his mouth, and sucked carefully. The cool water was so good. Did you know that that's how elephants drink water? Now the sun was burning down. The tortoise was shaded by his shell, but Little Elephant didn't have a shell. He looked at the big elephants. They were using their trunks to spray water over their backs. That looked like fun. I think I would like to be able to do that in the summer when it's hot and the sun is scorching down. Oh. Little Elephant trumpeted with delight as he joined the elephant shower. But now the herd was moving to their feeding ground on the far side of the river. He got the hang of it though, didn't he? Little Elephant followed his mother, but the water was very deep. And he kept getting in his trunk. In a panic, he scrambled back to the bank. The chimps swung across the river on vines, but Little Elephant didn't have any hands. He looked at the big elephants. They all had their trunks sticking out of the water. They were breathing by snorkeling. Oh, when they cross the river, they keep their trunks up. That would be like keeping your nose out of the water if you were in a swimming pool because you didn't want to get water in your nose. Ooh, that hurts. I don't like that. Little Elephant crashed into the water, thrust his trunk towards the sky, and paddled happily to the other side. There's a picture of the elephant swimming. When he came out of the river, he sank into the thick, deep mud. The mud felt good in the hot sun, and he longed to cover his body with it. The hippos with their short legs wallowed in the mud, but Little Elephant's legs were too long. See the hippo wallowing in the mud? He looked at the big elephants. They picked up large dollops of mud with their trunks and threw them over their backs. Little Elephant tried it. He splattered the cool mud all over himself. It felt wonderful. Do you think that's why pigs wallow in the mud too, to cool off? Maybe. The herd was on the move again, pushing their way through the long grass. The grass was so high that Little Elephant couldn't see where he was going. He was afraid he would get lost and lose his mother. The springboks leaped over the grass with their graceful legs, and they followed their mothers, but Little Elephant's legs were thick and heavy. They were not made for jumping. I don't think I've ever seen an elephant jump, have you? He looked at the big elephants. They walked in a long line with Grandmother in the lead. Using its trunk, each elephant held the tail of the one in front. Quickly, Little Elephant lifted his trunk and grasped his mother's tail. Now he felt safe. They're walking in a line. At last, Elephant reached the feeding ground. Little Elephant spotted some juicy-looking leaves, but they were just out of reach. The giraffes with their long necks nibbled delicately at the leaves, but Little Elephant's neck was very short. He looked at the big elephants. They curled their trunks around the leaves and tore them off and put them in their mouths. After a little practice, he could reach the lower leaves of the tree. Delicious. Look at how those elephants are helping each other reach the high leaves. They don't have long necks like the giraffes. The sun had started to dip into below the horizon. It had been a long day for Little Elephant, and he was very tired. He snuggled up close to his mother and felt something gently stroking him. Do you think it's her trunk? It was. It was her trunk. He could feel the trunk he curled his trunk around his mother's. What a very useful thing a trunk is after all, thought Little Elephant. Do you remember at the beginning of the book, the trunk was getting in his way and it was tripping him? He learned a lot about how to use his trunk by watching the bigger elephants. I love this book, Little Elephant's Trunk. Oh, we have more to do on our to-do list though. Let's go check that out. Let me see. Oh, number 2. Here's something for you to do when you're at your house. What do you think that could be? That's an ice cube tray. Do you have an ice cube tray at your house? I think you do. Miss Emily and I put an ice cube tray in a bag for you. And I think almost everybody has it at home. Do you know where it is? I know where mine is. Mine is over here on the carpet. Ooh, I'm gonna take you with me because I wanted to sit on the floor for a minute. I'm in the little gym. Do you remember that group time? Our group time area is now in the little gym. There's Tigger up there, and Tucker, and Graffy. But I want to show you what I have here on the carpet. I have an ice cube tray. And I have some marbles. I don't know if you have marbles at home. Oh, I'm gonna get down a little bit lower so I can see you better. I don't know if you have marbles at home. One of my favorite things to do when I was little was to take my ice cube tray and to put marbles in it. But when I put them in the ice cube tray, they weren't marbles anymore. Do you know what they were? They were people. So, see this one right here with all the different colors? I would pretend that this is the school bus driving by and stop, and this little person would get on the bus. And let me see. See this one? This one looks kind of the same, so I pretend that those were the 2 sisters, and they were going somewhere on the bus. And then the bus would keep going, and it would stop at the other house, and look, I have a blue one, so they would sit in a different seat. And, oh, there's another blue one. I'm gonna put that one in the same seat. And, oh, is this one the same? Those were 3 brothers, and they all lived at the same house, so they all sat in the same seat on the school bus. And it would still keep going, and then it would stop at, ooh, look at this one. Look at Tiger. He would sit in his own seat. So, you see, I'm sorting them really. And then I would drive them around the carpet. But you know what I was thinking? They don't have to go to school on this bus. This could be the bus that takes them to the zoo. Do you think that would be a good idea? So maybe they would be driving, and they'd stop and see the zebras. Or maybe I could set it up so then they drove a little bit farther and they could see the gorillas. Do you have animals at your house, stuffed animals or play animals? Maybe you could make a zoo today, and maybe you could take your ice cube tray as a bus and have people visit the zoo at your house. Because today, in small groups, guess what we're going to do? We're going to pretend that we're going to the zoo, and we're going to see what animals we can see. Usually we can check out some elephants, and usually we can see some kind of either gorilla or monkey. Maybe we'll see those today. I'm going to put my marbles back in my tray, because I'm going to need this for the next thing on my to-do list. Are you ready to see what it is? Okay. Are you coming with me? Of course you are. I'm going to bring the phone with me over here, and I'm going to put it back over here, because we're going to read what's next on our to-do list. Okay? Let's see. Number... Uh-oh, you can't see. There. Is that better? Number 3. Another thing for you to try at home. Also, with your ice cube tray and an eyedropper. I left my eyedropper on the floor. Ooh. And your eyedropper is you can fill your ice cube tray up with water. So, can you see my ice cube tray? No? Should I move the camera again? Okay, I will. I'll move it right here. Oh, can you see it better now? Okay. I'm gonna pour some water into the ice cube tray. Okay, and I can use my eyedropper. I can squeeze it and then let go, and then I can squirt the water into a different place. This is a little bit like the elephant was using its trunk, isn't it? Sometimes when we're in the green room, we make the water different colors. So there are a couple ways you can do that. Sometimes you can use watercolors, or liquid watercolors we do at school. This is food coloring. You might have some of this in your kitchen. This is something that moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas should use, because if you get it on your fingers, it stays on your fingers for a really long time. So I was trying to be very careful. I think I did okay. And you can move your red over there. And then you can kind of see it a little bit better, right? But maybe you go into your kitchen and there's no food coloring. That has happened to me before. There are other ways you can color water. Maybe you have a marker that someone forgot to put the lid on. You can put your marker in the... Oh, wow, that happened really fast, actually. Do you want to see what happened? Can you see that? It's starting to change colors already. It's turning pink. Or another way you can change water into different colors is you can take some watercolors. Watercolors. And when you are painting, you can use your ice cube tray to clean your brush, and eventually your water will change colors. And then you can use your eyedropper and you can mix some yellow, or is that orange? Kind of orangey yellow, with some red and see what happens. Or maybe you can put it in the purple and see what happens. So you can do some science today, some color mixing, and you can also work on making your fingers really strong. I'm gonna put my camera right back up here because I feel like I'm really scooching down a lot. Did we do everything on our to-do list? Well, I showed it to you, but did you do it yet? Are you ready to go play? So think about what you want to do. Do you want to use an ice cube tray today, or do you have another plan? So think about what your plan is. We'll do it just like we do at school. Pick up your microphone. Ready? Okay, tell me what your plan is. What are you going to play today? Sounds fun. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.